Hello everybody, it is Badger Wild, and we are back with another Space Engineers Weapon Core tutorial video. Yes, we're back in Weapon Core because someone asked me a question about Weapon Core the other day, and I mentioned how to do it, but then I thought, you know what, this is probably something that's plagued a lot more people, and this is why I like talking to you guys, because y'all end up giving me some great video ideas. Also, to remind everyone, new people that are coming to the channel that have just discovered it, and everyone that's already here, I have a subscribe star. If you want to help support me and my horrible addiction of video games, y'all can support me with the Minuteman tier for only $1 a month. On to the video. Now, setting up for this, I have broken out the big guns for this one. Yeah, well, sort of like the medium weight guns. This is the weapon core uh, turret pack, and I love these turrets. I love having the idea of just big battleship turrets on my ships. And this is one of those turret mods that has just the everything. I like the fact that you have to build around the carousel. But that's not what we're here for today. What we're here for today is a question, and the question was, how do I take these turrets? All right, let's look here. Hop in. There we go. Now I can see what I'm doing. How do I take these turrets and get them from firing like this from firing one cannon off at a time and get it to where it will fire just a singular turret. In other words, all three guns on one turret will expel before it goes to the next one. And there's a reason why this is a question, and I already know why it is. And it's my fault for not explaining it a little bit more thoroughly, but now we get a video to figure it out on our own. So if we go to cannons here, you can see we've got the cannons set up normal. We've got weapon group ID. All of these are on weapon group IDs, and each one is sequenced in their own weapon group. So you have 3 there is 3, 4 is 4, etc. with a shot delay of 30. What we're going to do instead is when you have a turret like this in Weapon Core that has 3 cannons, if you have a turret that has multiple launching systems, even the homing weapons mod missile launcher, which has I think like 8 missiles that it can fire, you have a burst shot counter. And this is why I always tell people, if you're going to set up minigun turrets, anything with a high fire rate of up to over 100 rounds per minute, do not mess with shot burst count, because what will happen is instead of all your weapons firing off, you don't, like if you have machine guns, you don't want to put a shot delay in there, and you don't want to put a burst shot counter, because this is only going to slow down an already impressive fire rate. If you're using auto cannons and up, though, that has a pretty moderate fire rate, shot delay is very important. Burst shot counter determines how much you burst. Now, those of you who don't know, burst firing is basically, here's a little gun knowledge for you, something that was done back in Vietnam, still done today, where they would take a gun and instead of trying to teach a soldier discipline fire with an automatic weapon, in other words, instead of just, some guys were too tempted to just hold the trigger down and just empty the whole gun as they fired. What you're supposed to do is pull the trigger and allow about 3 to 7 rounds escape the barrel, and then release so that you can come back onto target and fire accurate multiple volleys of ammunition. So the US came up with an idea of adding a burst limiter to the M16. So when you pull the trigger on the M16, it will only fire 3 rounds, and then you have to depress it and pull it again. Sort of like spicy semi-auto, if you want to call it that. This is what burst shot counter does. Burst shot counter gives you spicy fully auto, gives you spicy fully semi-auto, and that's what we've got here. So if we want to fire all 3 of the guns on a single turret before we go down the chain, we just simply take the burst shot count and move it all the way to the other end. This will fire everything in a single block turret. In other words, from one turret, it'll fire all the guns like so. You can see right there we have a small hiccup here at the very end. I apparently didn't hold the trigger down all the way. But yeah, that's how you get it to like multiple shots with a single turret. Now the reason you don't want to do this with machine guns, like the Gatling gun and things like that, is if you put it to burst shot, what will happen is if you do like a quad turret or you do burst fire with one of your ships, one machine gun's going to fire instead of all of them firing at once, hitting the target with a mass volley of shots at the same time. You don't want that to happen. And then, as far as I know, there's no way around it. So, what you want to do, and I may come up with a way to do this, I may find a way around it later. But what you do is you basically set up your turrets and you pretty much allow these to fire. You don't want to do it, like I said, you don't want to do it with machine guns because what's going to happen is one machine gun's going to fire, then the next one's going to fire its burst, then another one's going to fire till it runs out, and then it's going to go through the sequence. You're not going to get the full effect in the DPS. If you're using autocannons, if you're using regular cannons and you have weapon core attached, you can start doing the sequence fire and determine the shots and everything. But if you've got a turret that has, or a weapon in weapon core that has multiple shots and it's a big heavy hitter, and so you want to fire an entire missile salvo before you fire the next missile salvo. You don't want to fire one and then just go down the line like I did with the Lupin. What you can do is you can just hit this thing and fire the full salvo of one, and then fire the full salvo of the next, and full salvo of the next, and eventually you end up with something like this. And you've got multiple cannon turrets or multiple multi-barrel turrets firing all at once. So you're emptying out your cannon turrets. And then what happens there when you're doing this is I can take the shot delay up. Let's take it up to like 100 here. About 101. And you hit it here. So now you're firing 3-round bursts per turret, or until the sequence gets up. And there are ways to set this stuff up to where you can, like I said, weapon core isn't just a framework. Weapon core also enables you to exert a degree of control over your turrets and your weapon systems that you normally could not have. So if you guys have a question about weapon core, tell me. I will figure out how to make it work. If it's something I haven't figured out on weapon core yet, it's because I haven't had a reason to check it out. And if you guys ask me about it, I will find it and check it out. Again, thank you all for watching this video. Hope you all enjoyed this. Watching all these mega sized turrets firing off of these big guns right here. Thank you for watching. If you're new to the channel, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you're new. And also remember the subscribe star that we have, link in the description if you guys want to check that out, and throw $1 my way so I can bring you not only this content, but probably bring you some even cooler content later on. I got plans for it, but some of it requires a little monetary gain. I'd like to really expand the channel and get you guys some really cool content. But anyway, folks, thank you all for watching. This is Badger Wild saying stay safe, stay frosty. I'll see you guys next time.